Say What They Can't Radio.
Welcome to the Now What podcast. I'm your host, Tasha Monique, and welcome to this intimate episode. Again, you're just tuning in with me. So you're stuck with me for like maybe a half hour or less. Um, Shout out to all of my viewers who are still tuning in. I appreciate you so much. Make sure that you continue to subscribe, tell a friend to like, follow, and share. And if you're not doing so already, you can follow me on Instagram at now_what_podcast 4. And if you listen to me wherever you stream your podcast, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, iHeart, you name it, I'm on it. I'm under the umbrella of We Say What They Can't Radio, and then you'll find my show, the Now What podcast, and make sure you rate the episodes that you check out. 5 stars is what I need, and let your girl know how she's doing. Again, subscribe, follow, like, share, tell a friend. It's important, okay? So I hope everybody is well. So far, 2024 is off to a very good start. We made it. Hey, everybody. Yes, I know people probably already broke those New Year's resolutions, but it's all good, okay? No judgment here. No judgment. Um, so I just want everybody to think about this, right? Um, I was just thinking about, are we willing to give up things that are not improving our life? So, are you doing something that maybe brings you joy temporarily, but is it really improving your life? Is it enhancing it? Is it changing your life? When you stop and you really think about how you are wasting time or something that you're doing just because out of habit, something that you're used to doing all the time, how is that helping you? So I decided that I wanted to start drinking less because I realized that alcohol is honestly a trigger for me. It brings me back to a really dark place. And I realize when I drink, I go down that rabbit hole, which is not good for me. And I decided that I am going to drink less because honestly, that is not helping me, right? It's actually depressing me and bringing up a lot of triggers for me. So I want to start drinking less. And I'm actually so far so good. So I decided I'm only going to drink on occasions, birthdays, holidays, maybe a rare occasion if I'm celebrating someone else, and maybe not even then. So that's just something that everybody should think about. Are we willing to give up those things that actually don't improve our life, right? Um, Also, everybody should be in the season of being kind to yourself, being patient with yourself, and removing things and people that are toxic to you. Um, I know that is a very big one because, sometimes we have these people who are placed in our lives by blood or these long term relationships. And again, because we are creatures of habit, right? You tend to let things fester and linger on when you just need to actually remove these things from your life, right? So be in the season of picking off people, right? Distancing yourself if you need to, whatever it is that you need to do to get in a good space to where um, you're able to deal with these people and things on your own terms and it's not causing you stress, right? 2024 is all about being happy, whatever it is that you need in order to be happy. So again, it's 2024. I know you didn't ask me, but yes, I am still single. And shout out to all of the 40 plus year olds like myself who are single, who've been out the game for quite some time. Listen, it is hard out here, okay? Because things are different. I realize that things are different. And if you've been out of the game for as long as I have, honestly, it's been a real roller coaster. And I feel like people just don't have real expectations. And the dating game just changed. Like, people are doing a lot of things that we're not used to, maybe because you didn't know that this was a thing, like love bombing. I think I talked about this last season, so everybody should know actually about love bombing. But I don't know if you guys have heard of breadcrumbing. So I'm going to read the definition of breadcrumbing that I found on Google. So, breadcrumbing is in a relationship context, breadcrumbing refers to a person who gives you just enough crumbs of attention or affection to give you hope and keep you on the hook, but not enough to make you feel comfortable or assured that the relationship is going well. So, if you are dating, like myself, it's again a new ball game, right? So we don't feel as comfortable with going out there, putting ourselves on these dating apps, or actually meeting people in person because it's a little bit difficult. But we are used to people we know or trying to rekindle old relationships, which honestly sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But you have to be aware of these new terminologies and just think about, is this happening to me? Because definitely breadcrumbing was happening to me, but I'm like, let me remove myself and stopped it in its tracks. So, if you notice that these things are happening, just remember to remove yourself from the situation. You don't have to like punish yourself at all because you are looking for a companion or you want a relationship or you desire to be married. Put those boundaries up, have the standards that you set for yourself, stick to them, and just be like transparent, open, and honest in your dating search. And hopefully, we'll all find somebody good enough for us, right? Also, how do you know if someone is crumbing? You may ask. They always flirt, right? But it never goes anywhere. So just think of these people who are flirting with you. They may be in your DMs, they may text you, you may see them in person, blah, 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 right? May sound familiar, right? They only seem interested in sex, right? That's another red flag, right? Anytime you talk to this person, whether you're texting, on the phone, immediately the conversation always goes towards sex. Like, am I giving you like sexual vibes here? And we just talking about the weather? Like, what is going on, right? Breadcrumbing, okay? Um, they're consistently and mysteriously busy. So those people who are always busy, they don't have time. They only have time when they want to have time for you. But again, it's the false hope, right? I'm going to pay you just enough attention to see if I still got it, to see if you're still interested, but I may be doing something else, right? Breadcrumbing. Um, they are always vague. You know the person, right? They send mixed messages. If you get off the phone and you're confused as hell, whether you just spoke to them or it was a text message, breadcrumbing. And this person may not even know that they are actually doing it because they may call it something else, but this is what it is, breadcrumbing, right? Um, the more you become interested, they become interested and sorry, they become more interested as you withdraw. So when you start showing that you're no longer interested, they start to pursue you a little bit harder, okay, just so they can love bomb you and then ghost you, right? But it's on us to realize that this is happening to us and just stop it in its tracks and remove that toxic person from your life. So if you notice a pattern with a person that you have a history with, um why are you wasting your time? Don't even waste your time. I would say my advice to you, if this is happening, stop all communication. So when this person sends you a text, don't respond. If they call you, don't respond. If they DM you, don't respond. It's your social media page. If you want to block them, block them. But if not, let them see what you got going on. But again, they can like everything, they can be in every story. Just don't fall into the trap and acknowledge them. Okay. So that's my advice to the single people out there. Okay. That's it. Okay. Also, I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I have like a little small confession. Um, if I haven't spoken to you in 6 months to an entire year, I delete you out my phone. I feel like there's no need for you to occupy real estate in my phone if we're not talking. I know life happens, um, we're busy, whatever the case may be, but I feel like if we are in each other's lives, at some point, I am going to talk to you. I know I can't always go and see every friend, talk to every friend every day, but if you are someone who I love and I'm close to, I'm going to communicate with you throughout the year, right? But if I haven't done that, please believe I am deleting your number out of my phone. Maybe that's why my circle is so small. Nonetheless, if you hit me up at any time after that 1 year period, maybe it's 2 years later, 3 years later, you still have my number. I've had the same number for umpteen years now. Announce yourself. You have to say, hey, this is Pookie. How you been, girl? Oh, I don't want to sit there and have a conversation or be rude and be like, new phone, who's this? That's a complete lie. Um, Now I just ask, like, hi, who is this? If I want to entertain it. Some numbers you just know automatically, like, oh yeah, I don't want to answer that person. But if you just hit me up out of the blue, please announce yourself and maybe we can get reconnected. Um, Funny that I mentioned this, right? Men, I notice, do not delete numbers. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I need to get a man up on this show and ask him what that's about. I have a friend who I've known for years. Sometimes we bump into each other randomly, but I hadn't spoken to this guy in least like almost 5 years. And he just randomly texts me, like, oh, hey, I just saw some of your work, blah, 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 blah. How you been? And I'm like, oh my gosh. But what was even more amazing is that he announced himself. He like, hey girl, this is so and so. I'm like, oh man, oh snap, how you doing? And we just got reconnected and all good. But I like that he actually announced himself and he still has my number. I'm like, wow, what are the odds? But he had that number now for like going on like 15 years. I've known this person. But that just proves my point that men never delete numbers, period. But I'll delete your ass after 3 months, honestly. Family members, maybe I'm not so quick to delete their numbers, but like other people, yeah, you got 6 months to a year. I'm sorry. That's just how I roll. I don't know why. Um, Also, I don't know how many people out there who are overthinkers like I am. I'm learning to deal with my overthinking. I feel like I just have to give myself grace, right? If I think about the same thing twice, maybe it's something that I want to plan or do. And after I've thought about this idea that I have 2 to 3 times and I haven't acted on it, I just got to let it go. Just stop thinking about it because it just hurts me. Because then I just start romanticizing on a specific idea, overthink until I don't even do it. And it's just like annoying to myself. But I'm learning how to process my overthinking um, and have it work in my favor. Um, Also, I like to share that I started this little act of self care. I have a routine now that I actually enjoy doing, and it brings me a little bit of joy. I'm one of those people that at home, everything must look like a damn museum. So I want to look like no one lives here. Everything is in its place. Um, I don't think I'm a neat freak, but I just like a lot of organization. So I'm just very like particular about how I keep my space. And I started like buying myself fresh flowers every 2 weeks. and putting them in my room and in my walk-in closet. And I just want to walk into these rooms and see fresh flowers and life growing, right? Also, hand cream. It is so important to moisturize. I hate dry ass skin. Like, listen, especially in the wintertime, you all up in here, you got little spiders. I call them spider webs, be ashy, especially when you have that melanin in your skin, right? Buying myself different hand creams and just moisturizing. I keep them in my bag, I keep them in the car, on my nightstand, in the bathroom. So, a lot of hand creams. And I am committed to working out 3 days a week in 2024. So far, so good. The Sundays are a little bit of a daunting task for me because I got to wake up a little bit early, especially when I have to go to work. But I am committed to keeping this little banging body I got going on. So I am going to continue to work out 3 days a week. So the 2 days that I'm off, and then I added my Sunday workouts, which so far so good, right? It's only been like 2 months, but whatever. Um, Also, here is a part of what I wanted to start doing, which is I'm trying to actually answer 40 questions for the entire season of season 3, basically. So I have people who reach out to me through Instagram, Facebook, people I meet face to face, maybe reoccurring guests, past guests. And I just ask people if they have any questions that they would like me to answer on my podcast. I will do so. So I have 2 questions from viewers on IG, and they DM me. So I'm going to answer these questions as best I can, you know, give my little honest opinion. I think they're pretty good. So I'm going to give a shout out to Sawdust and Wood Chips on Instagram. So that's her handle. And her question is if there was one relationship skill you wish you could perfect, what would it be? That is very good. Question. If I could perfect any relationship skill, it would be learning how to effectively communicate with my next companion. We always hear how important it is to communicate, communicate, communicate. But I feel like one of the reasons why relationships and marriages have so much turmoil and issues and struggles and triumphs is because we don't communicate properly. I feel like in the beginning, if you set the ground rules and you say, hey, this is how I want to communicate. Don't let things fester and brew and go silent, because I'm one of those people that in my past relationships, I would just go silent. So if something bothered me, I wouldn't address it. I would let it build and build and build and build. And now we may be in public and you say one thing and now I'm snapping. And now it's a whole damn scene. And it's like, really? Why did you decide to do this right now? I don't want to get to those breaking points. So now it's just all about communication. And you got to let people know, like, hey, that didn't feel good. I don't like when you said this. I don't like when you did this. How about you not do this? Can we try this? And it works both ways. And I feel like the more that you communicate and you express yourself, the better you will be in your relationships. I feel like you'll be a little bit more open and honest and receptive to what your partner needs. So you may need this, they may need that, but you guys are listening and hearing each other instead of like just letting it build until you like blow up like a damn bomb, right? So that's one of the things that I would like to perfect in my next relationship. The next question is from JC Fit Living. And I feel like this is one of those questions that people ask all the damn time. And I'm going to answer this question to the best of my ability. I don't think there is one particular answer, but JC wants to know, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? And can you turn a man whore into a husband? The answer is yes, because I've seen it happen on both ends of the spectrum, right? So anybody can change, right? Anybody can grow, but the key is, are they bringing those whole like tendencies into their relationship and into their marriage? If these people have grown, that won't even be a factor. They'll just have an amazing time telling all of these past stories without judgment. And then that also goes into communication, right? Because people want you to be honest. And when you're honest, sometimes you get judged for your past. And I feel like that's a part of growing, right? If I used to sleep around way back when, that has nothing to do with my current partner unless he was in the rotation and he saw what was happening, right? That was my past. Don't judge me. Judge me on what I'm presenting to you and what I'm bringing to the table now. Yeah, I used to be out there, right? I feel like women is always given like a bad rap, like, oh yeah, she was a hoe, she was loose, she was sleeping around. But most of these women are sleeping with other men, right? They're sleeping with men. Some are sleeping with other women and vice versa, man on man, whatever. But at the end of the day, it takes two, right? So I feel like when the men are man whores and they're just out here running wild, slinging community penis all around, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's changed. He want to settle down. He got mad bodies, but it's just reversed when it comes to the woman, right? So we can't judge. Yes, you can be loose in your former life, but if you desire to be in a relationship and have a companion and a marriage and you want it to be healthy and successful, it's all about transparency and not judging the other person, right? So you can't say, oh, I want you to be honest. Example, another question like, oh, how many people have you slept with? If you really want to know the answer to that question and she tells you, you can't judge the person on what that answer is, right? You just have to take it and decide whether or not you want to move forward with that person. Again, that has nothing to do with you. It's about judging, not judging, but actually dealing with what's in front of you right now, like living in the moment, not based on my past. Because at the end of the day, no one's perfect. You're going to literally be by yourself if you're looking for a perfect woman or a perfect man. There's no such thing. We are all flawed. I am an entire flawed woman sitting before you. I've done things in the past. I don't live in regret, but you'd be like, that wasn't one of my better decisions. But again, it happened. Let's move on. If I decide to share because I feel like you've allowed this safe space for us to exchange what happened in the past without judgment, then we'll have that discussion. And I feel like a lot of the times people are not honest with partners is because they don't want to be judged, right? You've done a lot of things that you're probably not proud of, and you don't want to be judged for it. You feel like, oh, well, if I tell this person this, they're going to love me less. Or if I tell this person that, they're not going to want to rock with me. You don't know unless you actually speak your truth, right? And then you'll know if that person is capable of loving you just a little bit more. So, JC, I hope that answers your question. Yes, you can turn a hoe into a housewife and have a successful, healthy relationship, as well as a man whore into a hubby. Okay. So, again, I just want to thank all of my viewers for tuning in with me every month. Season 3 is off to an amazing start. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, share. We're navigating life in our 40s. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer on my podcast, you can email me, you can DM me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram if you're not doing so already. And remember, this is the Now What podcast, navigating life in your 40s, and I am here every month. Thanks for tuning in with me. Bye.